So I wanted to provide another kind of visual example of the way that certain men think and, just all the more reason why we shouldn't take their opinion into consideration and reason like, I don't know, number 2556 of why they deserve absolutely nothing. And I felt no better place to start than just in the comment section of certain videos. So as you all know, this is pretty much a women centered channel for the most part. I talk about issues related to women and young girls, and that's my primary focus. And a lot of my videos are directed towards women or with the intent of women watching them. But as we all know, most men are like cockroaches, they're everywhere. You think you stomp one out and that's it. And no, there's like, you know, a thousand more of them hanging around. So even despite having a obviously women-centered channel, it still attracts men commenting, right? So I did a video about how to identify a provider man, and y'all, I don't even think I got actual comments from women on this video. Like literally the comments were flooded with men, and it actually wasn't until a couple days later that I realized that a good majority of the comments were actually held by YouTube for review because of the vitriol that they were putting in their comments. They weren't even getting through. So it wasn't even that I was blocking them. It was just that YouTube itself was like, okay, we're going to hide these from the channel because they probably are no good. So I go in and I look at the held comments and I'm seeing, oh my God, like there's actually all these other comments on the video and they're all from men. Um, I think I maybe got one comment from a woman on this video, but as to be expected, it was a lot of butthurt males upset about this provider man video. And I'm guessing because, of the tone of the video was a little bit cutthroat. There was a clip from that I got from TikTok of Mina, the universe guru, where she was even going as far to say that non-provider men should have never been born, basically. And so maybe they were upset about that part. Like maybe they were upset about the whole idea of women just refusing to even open up their legs to any man that cannot legitimately provide for her in an effort to kind of like breed out the lesser non-provider types. So needless to say, they got really upset. So because you guys know I love the comments, I love the tea in the comments. So I wanted to dedicate a video to reading their comments and just responding to them and just going to show like how dumb they are and they're like their line of thinking and why that line of thinking manifests in them being so miserable that they have to come on and spew hatred on a channel that's not even for them. All right, so starting off, we have this guy right here. He says, all you chicks are bums. When did it become a thing for you to be, mind you, clearly cannot spell, right? When did it become a thing for you to become bums, to sit on your butt and have a man take care of you without helping out? It's a package deal. We're out here getting it together. My baby mama, okay, my baby mama and I hustled and sold whatever together and laughed at the world because we were getting it. It's not about 50-50 or being provider. It's about reaching the top period at all costs because it's better together than alone. So I just find it funny how it's like he's calling us bums, but he, as a man, he needed his baby's mother, his baby mama, to help him out in order to get on his feet or get up. He still needed the help of a woman, in order to get him to where he needed to be. As a man, he wasn't able to do it by himself. And to me, if I was him, I wouldn't have even admitted that on this video because number one, the video was about how to identify a provider, which he clearly is not. He clearly did not have the capacity to even provide for himself, to get himself out of a bad situation. He needed the help of another woman to do so. He needed her to sell her stuff and work and bust her butt working in order to get them both to where they needed to be. I would have kept that comment to myself because it's not a flex to me as a man. That's not a flex to say that that it took your baby mother who you obviously didn't have any business getting impregnated if you were already not fully in a financial space to provide for her and your child. Probably shouldn't have done that anyway. But to say that you needed her to get out there and grind just as hard as you in order for y'all to even be able to provide for yourselves, I just think that's kind of pathetic. So then this guy was like, they're all looking for simps. And I just was like, yeah, but the simps stay winning. Because it's true. Like, I feel like when guys talk about simps and, oh, the simps, and they kind of try to clown simps, but it's like simps in the sense that they're referring to them as, so men that have no problem providing for women or putting women on a pedestal and spoiling women, taking care of women, knowing the worth of women, pouring into women, investing into women. They see that behavior as simps, right? But in order to be a simp for a woman, you have to have it like that anyway, right? So it's basically like, tell me you don't have it like that without telling me you don't have it like that. Like, you would not, like, if you were in a financial space to be that and to attract those kinds of women, because I ain't never seen a simp that didn't have a baddie. I'm sorry, I didn't. I ain't never seen a simp that wasn't with a beautiful woman inside and out. Okay. And I never seen one that wasn't happy, right? If you have it to give and you're giving it willingly and freely, why does it matter, right? And why do other guys, what is the point of other men clowning another man for being a provider, man, a step up guy for his significant other or his wife or his children? Like, how, since when did being a present father and provider make you a simpleton? You know, like, when did that become something to be looked down on? And I think it just speaks to the culture, like this culture of like the simps versus the alphas. And it's like, okay, so alpha means that you're a degenerate. Alpha must mean that you just treat all of the women in your life like scum on the bottom of your feet. You use and abuse women. You are neglectful. You are not a good father. You are not a good husband. You are not a good boyfriend. And you just basically just use women up, and that's something that men should aspire to be. Versus a simp who provides for women. He provides for his family. He looks out for his women. He treasures his woman. He places her on a pedestal, and he takes care of his household. That's a simp. That's a simp, right? That's somebody that they don't aspire to be, even though 10 times out of 10, those guys are usually winning in every single area of life, right? Like, I look at this whole Travis Hunter situation and how there's so many men, no, males online that are like going hard against his girlfriend, his fiance, and they're also dragging him, calling him a simp, talking about the fact that she's gone on record to say that she wasn't attracted to him. Okay, like, that's common. A lot of women will not initially be attracted to someone. That's her being honest, but then she still fell for him after the fact, right? Now, it wasn't until after she found out that he was on his way to the NFL and that he was going to be making a lot of money. But this is still someone that was essentially her high school sweetheart that she ended up falling for, right? And he clearly puts her on a pedestal. He clearly appreciates what she brings to the table. He clearly loves her for who she is, right? And yes, is it a transactional relationship? Absolutely. He loves her for what she looks like and how she makes him feel. And she loves for the lifestyle that he's able to provide for her. And I'm sure she has some loving and caring for him in her own way, right? But why are grown men policing this, like, I think he's like in his early 20s, this like 21, 22-year-old guy. Like, why are they policing his relationship and his love life? Why are they inserting themselves into that situation and trying to look out for his greater good? Oh, he's already killing it in the game. Whatever is going on in his relationship, it's not impacting him. What's impacting him now is the fact that all of y'all are making this huge deal out of the fact that he's simping for this girl with a nasty attitude, or this girl that thinks she's looks better than him or doesn't think he looks good, or whatever. You're overly invested in that aspect of the relationship because you feel that he's not alpha enough in his personal interpersonal relationship. But it doesn't matter. What matters is what he's able to achieve on the field, and obviously he's able to achieve a lot, right? And you're allowing the fact that he's not running through women, treating them like 304s. Like, you're allowing the fact that he's not fulfilling that fantasy that you have in your head of how a athlete at his status is supposed to be behaving. You're allowing that to cloud everything else that he's achieving, and act like, oh no, you're impressing upon him how you believe he should be acting and treating his lady. And I just feel like that's really suspect, I'm not gonna lie, because it almost seems like a lot of those men want to be the girlfriend. Like they want to be her, they want to be the one, you know, about to get married to Travis, basically. Because I will never understand men policing the love lives of men that are clearly very much happy where they're at. So yeah, but that was just a sidebar, y'all. Because I just, when people talk about the simp stuff, I'm just always like, what? Okay, simps are winning. Like simps, I've never seen a simp in my life that was not happy or was not fulfilled or was not loving it where they were at. Okay, so the next comment was, why do women feel like they're obligated to a man's money that he worked hard for? So I don't even know if it's so much that women are obligated or they feel obligated. It's that if you're going to entertain a man, he should be sharing that with you. And the thing about it is, when you entertain guys that have money or have a lot of money, they know they worked hard for it and they don't have an issue sharing with the woman. They don't have an issue. Like it's not, if it's not an issue for them to be sharing it with us, why are we going to have a problem with that, right? And why do you as another man that clearly doesn't have as much money as those men that are providing for women, why do you care that that man wants to, how he wants to spend his money? If he was wasting all of his money on like drugs, alcohol, strip clubs, prostitutes, trips to Colombia and Dominican Republic, to buy more prostitutes, you really wouldn't care then either, right? Or if he was if he was investing in crypto, like you wouldn't care. So why do you care that he's using it? Like he's spending his hard-earned money, as you said, he's spending his hard-earned money on a woman that he's attracted to and he wants to date. Like, I don't get that. I really don't understand that. I don't understand you policing that or you having an issue with that. I really don't get that. So, um, why? So then, yeah, I just was like, why do other men feel obligated to police how men spend their money? These women aren't forcing their husbands to provide for them. They do it willingly. Yeah, I said that because, okay, because another guy was like, oh, I bet none of these women are married. I'm like, okay, Shira was in the video. Another TikTok creator was in the video, that's married. Like 3 out of the 5 women featured are married. Three out of the 5 women featured in that video compilation are married. Their husbands are all providers. These women do not have to work if they do not want to, right? They choose to. No, they didn't force their husband to do that for them. They did it willingly because they wanted them. So again, what's the problem here? And I feel like this goes back to the whole jealousy topic that we covered. There's a lot of men out there that's jealous of the fact that women could just be themselves and just show up and look good and have the red carpet rolled out for them. They hate that. They absolutely hate it. They don't understand it. These are the type of men that wish that they were not men. They wish that they were born as women. They wish that they didn't have to meet certain societal standards as men that they are expected to in a patriarchal society. Yeah, and I feel like that's why they react like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was the same guy. He's like, I bet most of these women are single, and I was like, yeah, literally 3 out of 5 women are married. So they're speaking from the perspective of kept women. And again, this video was not even for them. This video was for the ladies that are subscribed to this channel. Um, So he said, how about you earn your keep, Missy leeches, nothing more. So then I said, you cannot leech off somebody with nothing to provide. Usually those type of men don't view a woman wanting something from them as leeching. They understand everything in life is transactional, which is true. And so this guy just replied back, you are not a part of the problem, you are the problem. Okay, whatever. I'll be the problem all day long. I really will. I will be the problem all day long because I will die on this hill of everything being transactional. And we're going to do a video on that because I received another comment actually on the Travis Hunter video that I did where this guy was trying to fight me about how everything in life is not transactional. He was talking about God and da da da. I said, your relationship with God is transactional too, because God has requirements of you in order to be considered, a part of his team, right? In order for you to get right with God, you have to sacrifice some things, right? It's transactional. God requires something of his followers, right? So Yeah, everything in life is transactional. And the men that are spending this money on the women that they choose to spend it on, they are doing so with the hopes of getting a particular thing out of it, and vice versa with the women. So nobody is doing something for nothing. Even when you have those Barbara the Builder situations where women are building up the guy, they're even that is transactional, right? Because they're doing it why they don't want to be lonely. They want to be able to say that they have a man. They want to be able to say that they were chosen. They want to be able to say that they have gotten someone to marry them, even if they had to buy their own ring. Uh, and so they're getting the company, they're getting the sometimes they're getting the sex, sometimes, even that could be a hit or miss. I don't know. That Barbara the Builder Dusty dynamic is one that needs to be studied in universities because it's really sick. But even within those relationship dynamics, it's transactional because both parties are getting something out of it. There is a purpose for why they are both dealing with one another. Okay. So this next one was women make the mistake of generalizing being a provider with money. Oh, remember this was a long one. Hold on one second. It says a man can provide more than money. A man can provide knowledge, safety, protection, comfort, love, insight. Okay, all these things that um, are intangible. Women think to provide means to pay the bills and buy her stuff. No, actually, we don't think that. A strong woman is a support system that maintains peace for a man because life for a man is already hard enough. Wah, wah, wah. Like, let me play a violin for you, sir. We don't need to fight two battles. Women don't understand this. Until they do, they'll never understand men and how to keep one. We don't care about keeping men over here. Really, we don't. It's beyond just sex. We don't care about what you do for work or how educated you are on social media. And to that same extent, sir, we don't care what you think. Um, we don't care about what you think. I thank you for the comment because the engagement is helping my channel grow. So thank you for that. Absolutely thank you for that. But like outside of that, if you were talking like this to me in real life and it wasn't helping me or benefiting me in any way as far as like engagement, I would totally just mentally check out of the conversation because I'm not getting anything out of it, and I really don't care what you have to think or say about this because you're not paying any of my bills. So you said, we simply want support and peace to come home and not be stressed out after already dealing with the stress of the world. So, ladies, stop picking men based on money and assets, height, and all that dumb ish. Okay, you're not a part of the conversation, right? Because a provider man who actually has a stressful job, who actually does bust his butt to provide, when he comes home, a home that he has paid for, right? And he's taking care of all of the bills, the woman that he comes home to isn't really going to provide him any level of stress because she's not stressed, because she's not worried about having to bust her butt at her 9 to 5 as well and working just as hard as the man, going 50-50, right? Because she's able to rest in her femininity, because she's able to relax and not be stressed herself, she's not going to stress him out, right? Happy wife, happy life. Your life will be happy when your woman is happy, because when your woman is happy, she's not going to exert any additional stress on you. The problem with guys like this who have this mentality of be his peace and da da da, you don't create a peaceful environment. You have not created a peaceful environment for her to thrive in. So how are you going to be peaceful? If you have not created a peaceful environment for her to flourish and fill her cup like carefully, then how can you then expect to get peace out of her or the situation? It's not going to happen. Then he's like, oh, pick a man based on how he makes you feel on the inside. Once you attach to him for who he is, you'll love him regardless of what he has or him knowing. And you can't love, okay. No one loves unconditionally. Like unconditional love really only exists between a mother and child for the most part. And even that could be a little bit, Other than that, unconditional love does not really exist, especially not between a man and a woman, right? Because if you suddenly gain, I don't know, 300 pounds and he met you, you were, 140, 150, and then you blow up to 300 pounds and suddenly the attraction isn't there. Yeah, there's going to be some conditions to that, right? If when she met you, you were working a particular job, you had a particular amount of money coming in, you were able to provide in a certain way, and then all of a sudden you lose that and you express no desire to get back up and you're struggling to get back to where you were, then all of a sudden she's no longer feeling safe. And because she's no longer feeling safe, the attraction is dying down because she doesn't feel comfort within the relationship. So she decides that's conditions. Every relationship is conditional for a reason. The relationship you have with your employer is conditional, right? If you stop showing to work up on time, if you start performing poorly at work, guess what happens? You get put on a PIP, right? The performance improvement plan. And then if you fail with that, then what happens? Then you end up getting let go, right? You're not guaranteed a paycheck just for showing up and participating, right? People are going to stop being your friends if they realize that you're unreliable, if you're a poor character, if you just have different overall core values, if you grow apart. Like every single aspect of relationships that we have with one another in life, in all areas of life, is conditional. Nobody is going to just love you for who you are, except maybe a parent. And that's a big maybe, but definitely not your significant other, right? And what he said, the same way they try to act like, oh, you want to provide a man, that's a fantasy and that's unrealistic. It's also very unrealistic for you to have someone love you for who you are. Why am I going to love a homeless bum living out on the street just because he has a good heart? What? This sounds crazy. So and then he's like, stop chasing what every woman is chasing. You know what? It's fortunately, fortunately, every woman isn't really chasing it. I mean, a large portion of women are just settling for any man, any old piece of man. Um, there isn't you have women that will say on the surface, "Oh yeah, I want a guy to provide for me," but you would actually be surprised the amount of women that would settle for less, like significantly less, just to be able to say that they have a man. Now, I will say it's a lot of women are waking up and a lot of women are realizing their worth and realizing that, when I'm not even trying to be out here chasing men, period. Um, but this idea that like every single woman is a gold digger, every single woman is no, that's not true. That's not realistic. Um, yeah, so that's it. I'm done reading his comment, y'all. So as you can see, I was like, we don't care what you want over here. That's true. We don't care what you want. We don't care. So then it's like, the next one is absolutely let's act like all women are over the internet straight up humiliating these providers. And I just was like, yeah, that never happens. I've never seen that. What's the difference between thinking and overthinking? And I was just like, perspective. Because what? Uh, Okay, so this next person says it's easy to identify a provider. Just look at the gold diggers orbiting around them, wanting to leech off of him like a parasite. So I just was like, yeah, do all providers attract gold diggers? Because this is the thing, right? There is a difference between being a provider and just being really wealthy, or being like an athlete that has a person that has a status about themselves. This is why y'all need to check out the video, because in the video itself, those girls are really dropping gems. And explaining the differences, because you can like provider has to do with your level of generosity, and you have men that have fairly middle class salaries that are provider men because they have a mentality of being so, and they genuinely are just generous people at their core, and they like to take care of the household, right? So you have it at various levels. um because you have women that might fall into the quote unquote gold digger territory, that are going they're going for the guys that they know for a fact have the bag, but there's no guarantee that those men are going to be actually generous with that said bag, right? Because you have guys that they themselves are rich or significantly wealthy, but they're not generous with sharing that actually with you. So that's the difference. Looks like he commented that twice. So then this guy said, what I found is that the world works in opposite, and that's why most people fail. If you want a man with money, don't go seeking a man with money. Okay. The logic behind that is he can smell it a mile away, and you give off gold digger vibes. Instead, focus on, like, okay, yeah, we know that. The right thing is women to stay pure. Da, da, da. Oh, get your S together. Chasing women. Da, da, da. Yeah, none of that. Okay. Whatever he's saying, like, okay, stay home, don't go clubbing. I basically was like, no one is going to find that person by staying home. And that's true. Like, I get the whole don't try to find the person in the club, because I agree. Like, you can't, more than likely, you're not going to find the person of your dreams in a nightclub or a bar or a lounge. Like, you're really not going to find your target there for the most part, in my opinion. But this whole idea of like just stay home, you're not going to find anybody staying home. You're going to find like a delivery man, Instacart driver, Uber Eats, DoorDash person, and they don't have any money. Um, so he said, logic said is correct. You go about your day as normal. Yes, we know that you go about your day as a normal person. You meet these guys by indulging in your hobbies, by having something that you're passionate about. Um, I've never subscribed to the school of thought of go put on a bunch of makeup, wear heels, and do like 20 laps around Whole Foods because that's just that's just unrealistic, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, not a provider, not a simp or baiter, orbiter. Keep my money for me. If I do date, I can barely understand what he's saying. It has to have a job or two so I can buy me beer, whiskey. Yeah, I could barely understand what he said. So I was just like, do what makes you happy. Um, a rich man can have millions and be stingy as hell. A man can make 100K. Oh, this guy was basically like butthurt over the 100K or 200K thing because the girl at the end of the video was talking about provider versus rich, and she kind of broke down how you could be dating a guy with like low six figures and he's an excellent provider, and you could be dating a guy who's actually like wealthy, like a millionaire, several times over, and he could be super stingy. So this guy got so caught up in that. He's like, wow, considering the average salary in the USA is 30K a year, a man that makes 100K is still definitely top 5% and rich as hell compared to other 95% men. Now, I see this noted a lot online, and I don't know where these people live. I have to assume they live in flyover country, and I don't. I never have. I've always lived in major metropolitan cities where making 100K a year is the equivalent of being middle class. 100K is the new 50K in all of the cities that I've lived in. So I can't relate to that. And that is not considered a high salary. So yeah. Hey girl, he just keeps talking about that. So it's like, yeah, he brought up like Silicon Valley. And it's like, you can tell when people are just really out of their depth. And I don't know. Like, I don't, maybe they live in the Midwest. I'm not sure. The problem with being a provider is that most women start to take you for granted and feel like they deserve more. Most modern women just aren't worth it. So I said, I believe the main people that usually think this way are not providers at their core, they're just consumers. And I got the consumer thing, y'all, from Maria, aka Sass. Um, she said that she did multiple videos on it saying that like most men are consumers, and it's true. Like most men are just looking to see what it is that they can consume from you, like what can they get from you, and they're not looking to actively give to you. So when this guy made this comment about, oh, they're trying to take you for granted and make you and feel like you deserve more, a lot of the guys that in my opinion think that way, whenever I've seen a guy talk about stuff, she was just using me from, when you look at how much those guys really make on paper or what they have on paper, they usually haven't even reached their full potential career wise to even be feeling that way, that they're getting taken advantage of and this person's a gold digger. Like, it's like how people say all the time, how is somebody gold digging off of your $65,000 a year? What type of level of gold can you get? What status can you provide? What bump up in status can you provide when you're making that much money, right? That's not even enough for some single people to live off of. And you mean to tell me you think that you're about to upgrade some woman's whole life off of that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So let's see. This guy was like, worst mistake I ever did was giving them everything that they wanted and needed, as well as taking care of her children. I just, when this guy said that, I was like, there is no way, like, you gave them everything they wanted and you needed them taking care of their children. Seems like the type of guy who thinks that because he maybe bought her kids some sneakers, maybe help pay for her to get her hair and nails done a couple times, or help her with her phone bill, or took her, out to eat at the Olive Garden a couple times, and you know, because of that, he feels like he did his big one. He went and got the kids some Happy Meals sometimes, and he really feels that, you know, that's some indicator that he just was providing and doing it. And I said, you probably didn't have it like that to begin, right? Because for this to be the worst mistake that you ever made in your life, you probably did not have it like that. It probably broke your pockets. You were probably the $65,000 guy thinking that you could, you know, upgrade some girl, you know? And so he says, people with nothing Wanting people with everything to give them everything simply icks me out. I own 3 companies: PC Trader, Pine Media, LCM Holdings. So yeah, I do have it like that. I doubt it, sir. I doubt it. Not being in the comments of this video, you don't have it like that, sir. So then this guy was like, "Oh, what the heck is this?" And I was like, "It's vital information." And then he was like, "Women should date themselves if they want to be like men so bad." Oh wait, lesbian couples have higher divorce rates, but lesbians don't want to be men. Like, what does that even mean? Women should date themselves if they want to be like men. I know what he said just doesn't make sense. And then this person tried to say that I'm a bot, y'all. This is like the second or third time that somebody has tried to say that like I'm AI or like I'm not real, and I just always find it funny. And then, oh, it's probably an Eastern bot. They're so good at sowing discord over the internet. People, when you're online speaking the truth and telling it like it is, they always want to accuse you of being like a Russian bot sent to destroy and sow discord in America. Like y'all, it's so crazy. They always do that. And it's like, yeah, I'm pushing propaganda, targeting men for their resources. Most of y'all, they keep coming out reports about y'all having a lack of resources, about how y'all don't want to go to college, how y'all don't want to work, how you're dropping out of the workforce like crazy, how most of you guys are incels, how there's like this growing movement online. Like they're already monitoring, like the FBI is monitoring the manosphere because so many of former manosphere people have gone out and performed mass shootings, right? Yeah, the guy in New York who was a part of the manosphere, who was following manosphere people, the guy in California that was basically a full-blown incel, also following like manosphere people who did the shooting on the college campus. Like you guys are the ones that are struggling out here for resources and with mental health. So yeah. So then this last comment. Okay, y'all. This guy was like, men don't owe you a dollar. And I was like, no man on earth would exist without a woman granting them interest. You all owe us your literal souls. And y'all, it's true. It's true, y'all. Men owe us their literal souls. You would not exist on this planet. You would not be breathing right now if a woman had not decided to open her legs and allow you entrance into this earth plane. Okay. And I know deep down that's why a lot of y'all hate women, because you hate that you're brought here in the first place. But I'm here to tell you that for you to say you don't owe a woman anything, you literally owe women your life. Your life. You owe us your life force energy. Okay. So that's it for now, y'all. I think I'm done ranting. Um, I just wanted to like go over these comments because they were so crazy, but I hope you enjoyed it.